All right, guys. So we had a very nice Friday, a very nice Friday. Gold closing a high of day, silver, the miners, absolutely beautiful. I'm going to go through everything, including the miners, in detail. Let's start off with the DXY, which is a bit relevant. I mean, you can see the DXY going down, and no coincidence that gold also went up. So, but I still feel like gold's going to go up regardless. You could have a day where the dollar's up and gold will still close green. That doesn't surprise me anymore. So now the dollar could probably come down to 104. Maybe it will turn and bounce before 104 because that's quite a way down. We've already had a few red days in a row, so it doesn't really matter. Do we go down to here? Do we go lower? 104.25 doesn't matter. But DXY looks like it's going to come down technically. Plus, that's off the back of news, so it's justified or extra justified. And if you just zoom out, remember this is like a very slow ascent. And I feel like the longer it takes to break out, the weaker it gets. And, if you do actually fall below 104, I don't see that happening. Even next week, it'd probably be a bit difficult. But imagine you have a close below 104. Next stop is here, and then you're testing the ascending again. And honestly, no one's considering what happens if the dollar just starts to flush this ascending line here. But we don't need to think about that. And that's obviously going to be very nice for gold and silver. But DXY next week probably continue a bit lower, but it should bounce. Yields, well, down like the dollar. It's similar to the DXY, isn't it? It's like a slow ascending. Remember, the ascending is the weaker chart pattern. So I feel like this one, a bit like the DXY, could come back down. That's the 30. The 10 years always quite similar. Back down. Again, we're going to be testing the ascending soon if we keep going low. The 2-year, though, look at that. It's already lost its horizontal support. So that is underperforming. And that is usually what the Fed follows. So as the 2-year goes down, yields, Fed fund rate yields probably going to go down too. So that suggests, a cut, which is also very nice for gold and silver. So continue, especially the 2-year, that's going to continue and actually test its ascending. So yields and the dollar down, but again, not too relevant. Let's go straight to gold, which is just really done very well this week. Also last week, remember, we were here testing this 2300, but we kept on bouncing. I had the horizontal, but actually there's a small ascending support, which is probably better. So I've changed that one. This can be gone because we screamed straight through that. Even this, I'm going to leave it because it still counts. But look, we closed above it. We closed above this high here, which is beautiful. What would have really done it is a close above 2400, but that's what Monday is for. Monday, I don't know if they're going to try and play games, but they're losing the game. We're just going to keep going up. Sorry, Monday, we're going to go up to test 24, 25, whatever, 24.30 maybe. And then that'll be quite a big move, actually. I don't know if it's going to do all that on Monday, but I feel like, yeah, 1% is already quite a big move, but 1.5 is maybe asking a bit too much. That's pretty much what we did, but that's following news. So I don't know. I feel like we have to go up. We have to test the highs. Maybe not in one day, but next week we should be testing 24.50. I feel like that is possible. Very bullish, though. Imagine you're short, put it that way. Imagine you're short and you see this. Ooh, not good. So I'm very happy. I think you guys are very, very happy with gold. Looks like we're going to make new highs, right? Because if we test the old highs, we don't just go there, tap it and go back down. I mean, we will. We'll do a little cup and handle, but we'll make new highs in gold. Silver did its thing. I mean, screamed straight past this. So now this is irrelevant. Maybe if we go back down, it'll be relevant, but I just want to take it out. This, obviously, we still didn't close above. Unlike gold, we didn't get to take out its equivalent high, so 31.50, but we tagged it, right? So obviously that was clear resistance, and gold also was clear resistance, but we closed above it, so that counts. Silver, next stop is the old highs, 4%. We could do that in one good day, 2 decent days, or just an okay week, and I think we're going to have a decent week, actually. So I think we're going to test this 32.50. Maybe we don't close above it, but when you do that, and remember the descending, I love it. I love playing it. I find it very bullish. It is a bullish chart pattern. I think they call it a bull flag, right? Even though it's going down, it always confuses me that a bear flag is when it's when it's the opposite. So yeah, I still think 3250 is in the cards. Let's close above this one here first. It's 3150. Even if we come back down, imagine Monday, Shocko, it's a red day. The line I just removed, this horizontal, should act as support. It looks bullish. It really does look bullish. It's kind of as bullish as it gets. You know, we've had this consolidation. We broke out of it. And if you zoom out, we're in a new bull market. And all the reasons, you know, fundamentally, technically, news-wise, psychologically, everything is bullish. Okay, miners, what we really care about. Yes, this did hold. That looks like it's far away now. So up we go. We're testing the equivalent for the miners. So GDXJ here, 45.50. We need to close above that. Next test, yeah, I mean, that's true. I do think that would also be a small resistance, 46. And then you're all the way up here. This is, you know, silver testing its old highs, gold testing its old highs. And 4.5%, that's easy. That's one good day. That's one good day. And I feel like the miners and silver are going to start, and they already have actually. I mean, they didn't perform as well as gold in terms of they didn't close above their nearest resistance, and it wasn't at a high of day close, but otherwise they've been outperforming. So silver and the miners outperforming gold. That's good. I hope that continues. 4.5%. That looks nice. That's definitely doable. SILJ. Okay, I forgot to add its horizontal. This one, should be a bit higher, shouldn't it? Should be a bit higher. We got this second last zone of resistance and maybe one more here. I'm just going to add this. It's pretty much the same as GDXJ, but you can see SILJ is almost 1 day behind. I'd say half a day behind the others, which is a bit surprising because silver's done pretty good, and so the miners. So you'd expect SILJ to be at least here. Interesting. I didn't actually realize that because the silver miners I'm in, which I'll get to, actually some of them are underperforming, but some of them are not, like CDE. Look at this, GDX. That's nice. Some of the seniors, and we're going to go through my own, most of the best seniors, I would say. I like to think so. Here is resistance. I would have put that actually just here, just before a gap. Clear resistance. There you go. Again, we didn't clear this one, but next stop is here. I mean, once we test this, if we can close above this at least, then it's, you know, the final hurdle. So it looks absolutely beautiful. It kind of makes sense why the miners look like they do, which is just basically copying gold. Copying gold, actually. All right, let's look at the portfolio. Newmont straight away outperforming everything. You can see it made a new high, right? Just a few cents. Very nice. It closed at the highs. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Next step, wow. Next step is up here, 46. Right, makes sense. So if the miners start to go up, gold and miners go up even just a little bit, I expect Newmont to be at 46. Very bullish, outperforming everything, its sector, its peers, the miners, even gold and silver, just relative to where its old highs were. So beautiful upwards and onwards. I'm not even going to talk about let's move this here. I'm not even going to talk about the support. I'll just leave this in. I don't even think we're going to get that. I think we're just going to go up next week. So 46 for Newmont. Barrick Gold, not as good. Not as good, but I still am I'm quite heavy in this one. I think it's worth more than Newmont actually, because I'm expecting it to catch up. So resistance, well, it's no longer this actually because of what happened on Friday. It's more like here, the old high, but that's not good, is it? That's closing at low of day. It was just green, not even up 1%. And you know, when you got gold at 1.5%, that's not good enough. I don't even think there was news. Yeah, it's kind of disappointing. Disappointed in Barrick Gold, but the thesis has not changed. It should be repriced way higher. Next earnings should be really good for all these big companies. So I'm not adding. I'm in so heavy. I took a bit of a gamble. I even went against my own rules and basic rules, which is just going in too hard. Even adding the ranges that are close to my last buy. The amount I had on the sidelines was like, well, it was 15%, but because my portfolio went up so much more, it actually became 10%, if you know what I mean. Like, imagine you have 20,000 on the sidelines, and let's just say it's 15% of your portfolio. Imagine your portfolio goes up in value. Now that 20,000, which is still 20,000, that's even smaller percentage. So at the moment, it's like 10% of of my portfolio is just cash, which is like historically very, very weak. Anyway, I'm holding what I've got. I am gonna trim, by the way. That's I need to take some off the table. It's just I'm way too heavy, but I still feel like we can make new highs. Obviously, given what I've just looked at, gold, silver, and the miners. But Barrick Gold I might trim, and I might trim at 18 just to take a little bit off. It's really heavy. But yeah, next up 18, then it's really simple. 19, then is a big descending breakout. Remember this. Look at this big descending breakout. Like I said, that's my favorite one. So at 19, we start to break it. I still think we test, because as soon as you test, as soon as you break out of a descending or even ascending, yeah, you've got the next horizontal, which is always to be respected. But that should not stop the great move, because when you take out a descending, especially a long-term one, it really should lead to a big move up. So Barrick Gold holding. Agnico-Eagle, very nice. Very nice. Almost as good as Newmont, except didn't make new highs. But remember, Agnico-Eagle has really made a huge move, like outperforming all the seniors, I would say, especially including Newmont for sure. So for it to be back up there is quite impressive. Did it close above 17? No, it didn't. Doesn't make any difference really. So next step, obviously the old high. This is no longer a level. This is no longer a level, actually. And this we can, it's not going to get to that, but support, I don't care about support. I'm not looking to buy anymore anyway, and I don't think we're going to test support. So 71.50, the old high, and then 74. Why do I say that? Simply because of this high up here, actually. And then after that, it's probably this area here, just because of these two candles, 76.50. But that's quite close. I think it's time to actually add some of these ones in, because I feel like we're going to get there. And after that, bam, huge move to the old highs, the COVID highs. We should be there already, to be honest. So yeah, just upwards, upwards. First, let's just do one step at a time. So 71.50, 71.50 for Agnico-Eagle is the next resistance. Pan America, let's clean it up. Boom, boom. This, yeah, I guess it was, but we don't care. This, not maybe. I'll keep it because we did close below it. But next up is really up here, the old highs. Let's call it 22.70. And if silver has a good day, Pan America should be there immediately. Very, very nice moving stop here. 550, that can be done on one decent day. And on a very good day, way more. In fact, Pan America could get there before silver makes new highs. After that, after we take out this high here of 22.70, we've got 24. You can see that. 26. This one, I'm not so sure. Actually, it might just keep going. You know what? I think if you're at 26 and you're breaking out and silver's looking like 36, even $40, are you really going to stop at 28? No, you're going to have Pan America going to 30 straight away. So that one I take away. I can imagine the craziness going on if we're all the way up here. And why not next up 38? Pan America looks very nice. We obviously just need silver to do its thing. SSRM, this absolute clown that always ruins the show. I took some off around here-ish. Look at that, it closed red. That's ridiculous. But I've always said that about SSRM. It's not following the usual GDX, even silver. I mean, it does, you know, gold and silver have a $50 pop. SSRM is going to go up, but it does its own thing. It just needs news, like company specific news that just clarifies the situation with the landslide. You know, I'm not even following any of the story, but I don't know, Turkish government, other elections, I don't even know. I think it needs company specific news so that we can just say, okay, we're good, probably be repriced higher, no matter the news, even if it's bad news, probably. And then you can start following the gold and silver price a bit more. So this one is a special case. So, but otherwise, what can you see? You can see a close at low of day, resistance. I don't even know why this is resistance. I don't see it really. So I'm just leaving it. I already sold some here because I felt it was a bit, I thought it would go down. I think I got lucky because it started to go down at a different time than the others, I think. But I just didn't want as much in it because I couldn't count on it. Because the point of these individual stocks rather than being in an ETF is because I want to, I want to guess where gold and silver are going, and I want these stocks to be outperforming the ETF. Otherwise, why not be in the ETF? So it's not doing its job. I don't want to get rid of it because it's SSRM. It's a very good stock, and look where we're trading. This is ridiculous. So I'll hold it. And I think, and I said this before, you could have days where gold and silver are down, gold down 1 or 2%, and you could have SSRM up 5% just because, not even any news. And likewise, when you have gold and silver having good up days, like Friday, you got SSRM that actually closes red. So I'm just holding. By the way, one thing though, technically, this descending, I mean, you can't see it because of this one here. Let me just get rid of this one so you can see what I mean. This descending, I think, matters. I don't know how many people are seeing this one, but I feel like we start to go up, and it'll probably coincide with another level, like here, this $5 thing. If we start to rise and we test it here, it'd be above $5 actually. It depends how long it takes. And then as soon as you break out, I could see it go all the way up and test its old high very quickly. And it might just coincide with some news. But I feel like, let's get rid of some of these lines. You start to move back up here, bam, 520, you hit your head, and then you break out, close on a daily basis outside of this descending, bam, next couple of days, you're running up to 6, basically. But anyway, for now, crap. Wheaton, very nice, very nice. Let's get rid of this. Friday's candle nullifies that. No resistance except the absolute old high of $58. Let's zoom out and let's just verify that that is the absolute high. Yes, it is. After that, I've got a very rare ascending resistance, which I think makes sense. So let's see if we can take out, but close above 58 will do it, because that'll be above those and it's the big round number. And then it just keeps going. And then honestly, I've got this, you can see this ascending, which will probably be around 62 by the time we get there, maybe even higher. That's it. After that, there's no resistance. And you'll just have to look at GDX, basically. And whenever GDX hits resistance, you can expect Wheaton to, it's probably how you have to trade it. If you want to trade it, I'm probably just going to hold. It's a great company, new highs, why not? Maybe trim some. Next is Franco Nevada. Well, I'm not even talking about support, am I? Just resistance and the move up. Bit of a contrarian indicator, maybe. All right, here we go. We've got resistance here. I should have made it absolutely perfect because now you can see why it hit that. It was absolutely perfect. So that worked. 125 point something, 0.2, let's say. Let's close above 125.2. And next up is this old high, 130. Big number, actually. Franco Nevada can finally start to catch up with Wheaton and some of the others. This is a very good company. Had a bit of technical damage following some bad news. It's underpriced. I think it's finally going to start catching up and outperforming actually some of its royalty peers. It should be like 150 or even higher. I mean, I understand why it's taken time to do this. At least it's gone up. At least it's not as bad as SSRM, but it needs to start closing above 130, and I think it will be there very quickly. And then we can hit 140 and then eventually 150. But you see these two resistance on the way. So there you go, pretty clear. Metalla was looking strong. Then it came down with everything else with the gold price. Surprised me actually to see it at 270. Really, I mean, even the fact that it's below 3 now is a hell of a buy. Next up is this descending. I don't see any real tangible resistance now to get from 3 to 340. That's over 10%. So we're not going to do it in one go. It might find resistance like this candle here at 320. Normally the 20-cent range after you cross the line of an entire number like 20 cents is usually your first real resistance. So maybe 320. I'm not going to draw it in. I can take this one out. It did its thing, broke out of it with strength. So let's get up there. Let's go to 340, and then a bit like SSRM, you have this big descending that you will take out. This is big. This one will count. Like, I will be right about this. The descendings, I think I have, I don't know, some extra luck on getting it right, or maybe some skill, but the descending I think will count, and it will coincide perfectly with this 350. So you go to 340, not in one go, but you know, goes back down, maybe pops up, looks extra bullish. 350 will obviously be a small resistance, and then it will just start to run to 4. And even then, you know, you zoom out, you're like, my God, 4 is nothing. We should be at 6, which is 50% and 100% from where we are now. So this should be a real winner in the next couple of weeks, maybe months. I'm willing to wait. So 340, 350, you can see why I consider that as resistance. Let's look at the silver boys. First Majestic is not really that strong, especially compared to CDE, my absolute favorite. Absolutely loves CDE. First Majestic, you can see that this was a good area to buy. Yes, it went 3, 4, 5 cents below, but whatever, that was a good area. But then again, everyone had a nice bounce, but they should have. And now next resistance, is that really resistance? 660. It's literally just because of this candle here. The bottom of this and the top of that, they both touch 666. Wow, some devil stuff. I'll leave it in. And then 7, yeah, you can see how that was support here, how that was resistance. You got a little 5 cents, you know, plus and minus from $7. Basically $7 should be resistance, but maybe 666 just before. After that, you know, imagine how long it takes. You'll probably hit this descending before you hit this horizontal. Actually, that might not even count by the time we get there. $8 will. You know what? Just because I know we're going to hit the descending before we hit this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to switch them around. There you go. That's the resistance on the way up. And, you know, it wasn't amazing day either. Up 2 and 2.75% is okay. But, yeah, some other silver stocks outperformed. Also, look at that. Doesn't close at high of day. It's okay. At least it was a green day, huh? So it should keep going up. It did have bad news. I think, was it they raised capital or something, or some dilution? It's a shame. That's kind of ruined the momentum. Technically, well, I didn't damage it technically, that news, but we didn't make a new high. And then when we made a lower low, we basically made a lower high and a lower low. That kind of ruins it. It's going to take time to get back up here, and then we've got to break out of this descending. So this one will take time to make new highs. But look, don't discount, you know, if silver makes new highs, and it will, you could start seeing some silver stocks really have like plus 20% days. When was the last time we saw that? I missed that. The silver squeeze, you know, I remember First Majestic like up 33% pre-market or something. Ridiculous moves. And you could have, I don't know, I don't see that day coming imminently, but one day like that that would really hurry things up. All right, let's look at, Fortuna. Jeez. I remember this. I think I even trimmed a little bit of Fortuna because I saw this coming. I thought that's a horrible candle, and I wanted everything to be. I wanted all my silver stocks to be worth 4K exactly, and I think I trimmed a tiny bit of Fortuna. I have to look at my trade log later, but that's not a nice candle. Now, Fortuna had bad news. Another one, right? A bit like First Majestic, but this is more recent. Had bad news, gap down. Now we did hold this level very well, 480. That's fair enough. But you can see how it's going to encounter a lot of, I feel like it's going to encounter a lot of resistance on the way up because people are remembering the bad news. So, you know, it did have, no, I think it even closed red. It closed red, a bit like SSRM. Closed at low of day and red. You know, is it going to complete the gap fill? It could, who knows? But really disappointing stuff because we've had big moves in gold and silver, and you've got Fortune, which has basically done very little. So I'm going to be actually a trimmer on the way up because I feel like it's going to encounter a lot of resistance. So every time it's worth more than this strict amount that I'm assigning to it, I'm going to just trim that off. I'll try and time it with some, you know, the technical levels, of course. For me, first of all, it's going to take out Friday's high, so 524. I'm not going to draw that one in. Something I will know. Then you got this high here, 538. And then the almighty vacuum here until we get to 585. That will take a lot of power to get it up there. I will be trimming this. And then $6 is not actually resistance. Then if somehow we keep going, obviously you can imagine the chart will do its thing a bit. It will take some time to maybe go sideways before going up to the old highs up here. But Fortuna, not a good day. Not a good day. Very disappointed. And I actually trimmed some because I could see the candle forming and I know what gold and silver already done. And I felt like, yeah, they might have a bit of a sideways day on Monday, you know. So imagine Fortuna back down to 480. I just, no, let's trim. It's worth a little bit more than 4K. Let's take that off. I'm going to be very strict with my aggressive silver stocks because I was letting them get worth more and more, but I've got more stocks now. I've added, you know, Hecla, for example. I've got B2Gold, Equinox. These are new additions and they're all worth 4K and it's just, the value is way too much. So I have to be a bit more strict, like risk management, even though I think we're going to go higher. Speaking of going higher, Coeur d'Alene, absolute monster. Already you could see on that, it says Wednesday. Why did I say Wednesday then? That's weird. Oh yeah, we had a day off, didn't we? Anyway, had a very nice day. Had a very nice day. And then all you needed was that nice moving gold to continue on Friday, which it did. Didn't surprise me. Look at Wednesday already. We made a new high, right? We were testing above 6. We closed below, but who cares? Everyone was waiting for that news. Friday news comes out. Gold's doing beautiful. Doesn't surprise me. You got CD just going up. Made new highs already. Even stronger than Newmont. Where's resistance? I love this stock. Resistance, normally I would say 7. It probably will be a little psychological level. But honestly, 750. I don't really see. I mean, look here. We were hitting this range. We were trading this little box before. It was $6 on the way down and 750 on the way up. That was the box level. So the same should apply. 6, 750. So yeah, we'll go sideways. We'll have some red days, and you know, maybe we stall out at 736 instead of 750. So don't be there with your sell at 750 or 749. It shouldn't be 750. It should be 749. I will be there at 749, but I'm ready to adapt. But you know, it's quite a move. You're asking, even though it doesn't look like much, you know, almost 20%. But if silver starts to test its old highs, or if silver makes new highs, CDs at 750. Sorry, that is the law. So nothing but beautiful things for CDE. And I'm not covering the levels on the way down. The levels are already obvious anyway. They're all there. So you know, we could retest $6, but I'm just going to be focusing on where we go. And I think we're going to go up. So 750 for CDE. All right. Next is Hecla. Took out its descending. Just about. Not a good Friday. It was up, but only just like 1%. But still, I think it's also because it was the descending breakout. It's like a retest. And now it's got the green light to keep going. Is that really going to be resistance? 540, that's too close. Obviously, Friday's high is the first step. Take out 532. Yeah, okay. Resistance, bit of support. I'll leave this in. The descending, I think we can get rid of it. It's a bit early to do that, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then once we take out this 560-ish level, why have I got that there? That's not the best. Okay, because of this. Get rid of it. I think it'll be $6. You know, I'll leave it like this. Give it some room. 560, and then it'll probably pause at $6 psychologically. Also a bit of resistance from that, but otherwise 625. Needs to catch up, you know. We've just looked at the CDE chart and now look at Hecla. Massive difference. Hecla, Fortuna is even weaker. Fortuna didn't even, yeah, no, Fortuna didn't make as much of a move. First Majestic didn't make a higher high. This did, right? Hecla made a higher high compared to here and a higher low. Okay, let me draw it in. Sometimes it's not obvious. Here's your higher low, just. Here's your higher high. So we should go up there, right? Not in one go, but at least we're outperforming First Majestic, which made a lower high and a lower low. But Hecla didn't have bad news like First Majestic. So, you know, between if I would rank them, CDE wins, hands down, well done. Number 2, EXK, which is what I'm supposed to be looking at now. Let's look at EXK. Look at that. Very nice. Very nice. Let's get rid of some of these obsolete levels now. Boom. Closed above it. Closed above 4. This is very strong. Very strong. Look how now the fact that it held the ascending, it was just absolutely perfectly timed. And it just looks like a wonderful chart. I now look at the strength that it's got. Just this gap will never be closed. Up we go, 420, of course. Remember that 20 cent. It's always a level, in my opinion. Touch 420, go sideways, boom, next stop. The only question is, what is after 420? And it's probably going to be 450. I was trying to make a bit of an average with this. I think it'll be 450. I'll leave it here, 450. I think this is where it was anyway initially, which is how much of a move from where we are, 11%. Sounds like a lot. If we're at 420, we close at 420, how much of a move? 7%. That's one good day. EXK will probably make new highs before silver, before even the GDX. So outperforming. This is number 2. CDE, then EXK, then maybe Hecla or Fortuna, I don't know. Anyway, I don't need to rank them. EXK looks wonderful though. I think you can agree that it's really 450, 460, which is the level that we're going to look at after 420. And then boom, straight past 5. Up at the old highs at 570. And look where we were. We were at 150, and now we're talking about $6 soon. It's incredible. It's incredible. All right, first Majestic. Sorry, Mag Silver. It's all right. I mean, the fact that it came all the way back down, and this was relatively strong and it had good news, which is, I think, rare for Mag Silver. But look, we touched this 1150 kind of perfectly. We bounced first resistance here. I think it did close below it on purpose, 1250. We're at 1247. Next step is, you can see how 13 is not a level, right? Look at the daily candle, nothing going on there. It'll probably be a little 2-minute intraday resistance, but otherwise nothing. I can see this level, but really nothing until here. Yeah, basically 1380. How much have we moved from where we are now just to get back up to 14? 10% is quite a lot. All right, I'm going to say 1330 and 1380, and then the old highs, whatever that is, 1430, which coincides quite well with these. There you go. That's correct. It's okay. It could have been better, but it's okay. If silver tests its old highs, I want Mag Silver back at 14 and ready to run to 16, 18, etc. Remember, we took out the descending. Look at this descending. Bam. What follows? And we should continue going higher, actually. So we should continue the fact that we broke out this descending. All right, next one is Aris Mining. That's nice. It needed to do that. Now, this one, sometimes the chart looks a little strange, or certain candles do because of the lack of liquidity or the buy and sell. What is it? The gap, let's say, between the buy and the sell sometimes is a bit, it can make for some strange candles, but otherwise it looks good. So we bounced, okay, 370, right? Former resistance from here becomes support, kind of. Bounces nicely. I thought for 20, again, 20 would be resistance because it was 4, kind of, but not really. Honestly, there's only one level. It's the old highs, 460. After that is 480. Big one, I think. Big one from over here, from a long time ago. Once you can close above 480, or preferably even 5, then there's nothing until 660. This is going to get wild, this one. Remember, you zoom out this one, you start to understand what's possible. Now, there's a reason for this. It's dilution. You're never going to get back all the way up here. But still, the chart will take its old candlesticks, and I think it will impact it. So once we start closing above this 660, well, now we have to go all the way back here to see where it came from, where it belongs. And that's when the chart starts to do some crazy things, and it looks very good for the bulls. I'm not going to talk about it. Let's get to 660. That'll take a few months maybe. But otherwise, it's like, 10, 30, just it gets ridiculous. So 460 next up, then 480, and then probably 5, but it'll do it. Next week, if we have a good green week, we could be at 480. And it's not asking too much, 12%, it's doable. Anglogold, another one that had bad news. There's a few of them, isn't there? There's like Fortuna, first Majestic, and there might be another one. But anyway, Anglogold is one of them, but it started to look good. So we were testing this level, this sort of 380, 385 level. You can see already popped our head above on that Wednesday. Thursday's a day off. Friday, we have this level. I think it hit that quite well. Closed below it, fine. It's basically closed at $4, just below. Next up is here. Makes sense, right? The highs of these candles, 420 again, 420, just below. And after that, it's the gap. Now, unlike Fortuna, let's go back to Fortuna because it kind of looks similar, doesn't it? Unlike Fortuna, Gold is a bit stronger. And see Fortuna, you can see it's really the Friday candle that ruined it. But I can sense strength in resistance on the way up. So that's why I already started to trim this one. Obviously, I trimmed it. I think it was at 19. I don't even know. But yeah, Fortuna, I'm going to trim. But Gold has a bit more strength. So I won't be selling even for 20. I think if we're starting to go higher in gold and silver, I think we can do a gap fill at least. There I might trim. Just on principle, even though I think it can go higher, and obviously I'm going to hold the majority of the whole position because I believe it will make new highs no matter how bad the news is. This was dilution, I think. Sorry, gold makes new highs, earnings are great, and it justifies a price much higher. So so I'm going to be looking at these levels quite closely for Gold because first of all, $4, that's done straight away on Monday. Even if we have a red day, I think I'll get above $4 for a while at least. 420 is the important one. I want to see how strong the resistance is there. I may start to trim here early. Like imagine I want to sell, let's say 100 shares, right? I might, instead of waiting for 100 shares up here at probably do 439 or 443, I'll just do 50 and 50. I'll do it 2 times 50, It doesn't really matter the amount, and I made that up, but point is, you could do those 2 cells instead of one big one here, which never gets filled. At least it goes here and comes back down, at least you filled it once. Anyway, it's just something I need to contemplate, but Gold looks very strong on Friday. I mean, look at that. That's almost up 5%. So when I compare it to other similar charts like Fortuna, I'm not in a hurry to sell, but this gap fill I may trim. Next is B2Gold. Very nice. It's really perfect. I think the fact that it tags the descending perfectly is not by chance. So let's close above the descending. And remember, when you take out the descending, it's always about the next horizontal. In this case, it's going to be $3. And when you close the horizontal that follows the descending, then it gets explosive. Now, I'm using my own words there, but I think you know what I mean. First, we've got to close above the descending. This is, imminent, like Monday. Then you take out the horizontal that follows, and then you've got clear skies for a big move up. That's kind of the way I see it happening. And by chance, the next move up to the next horizontal resistance will be an even longer term descending. So B2Gold has got like these little power, I'm going to make a reference to Mario Kart there. I don't know why, but these little, what should I call it? Launch pads, So here, this is a launch pad to go there. And then when you go there, launch pad here, obviously there'll be resistance, some sideways move. And then this one, bam, well, let's not dream. Obviously, it has Mali, operational issue, well, jurisdictional, political issues rather, geopolitical issues. I think they're going to get kicked out of Mali, but apparently they have an agreement. I don't know. I don't follow. I think it's even the loss of Mali is more than priced in here, and I don't think that's going to happen. So let's just judge it technically, and I think that it's destined for a move to $3 next week. Equinox, beautiful. Absolutely what I thought would happen. First of all, the support was really nice. I felt it. I can't explain it. I could just feel that it was strong here. I mean, I could see it in the candles, but you know, I've been watching Equinox. Obviously, I have a position, but I was watching Equinox a lot, thinking, I need to be in this, you know. It's a good stock. It deserves to be way higher. And I could just, it was, for me, it was inevitable that it was going to go up. A bit like IAMGOLD, which is why I took a position there. But Equinox, the support held very well between 5 and 520. The descending, yeah, I think it counted, but I don't even think if it cared. I'm not sure if it counted. But I knew that once we were going to clear this like 550, I knew we'd go straight to 590. And that is pretty much what we did on Friday. I know we closed at 582, but that's the same thing as 590. And we closed a high up day. I mean, this had a really good day. This was one of the strongest stocks out there. It just open, close, perfect. Just totally blue candle. Next step is 590. You know, if gold is a little bit red on Monday, by the time the market opens, I can imagine Equinox just touching 590 and then just sort of drifting sideways, maybe even having a red day. But the point is, when you close above 590, now it's had a big move already, but really the next step is the old high, right? It's not going to take that long. It'll probably take like 3 days, but 650. After 650, actually, let's get rid of this. Takes too long to get that. 650, after 650, that's a good thing I've already drawn it in. 7, apparently. I can't really see why 7 is. I think it's just because of the number. Yeah, okay, a little bit 7. And then more so 750. And then 9. Wow, there's nothing at 8. Nothing really at 8. 8's a bit like, whatever, it's far away. 650, 7, 750. Pretty simple. And I can see it happening. I can see us testing 650 maybe next week. Yeah, if we make new highs, sorry, you have to go up there. It's part of the rules. That's a nice 10% move. And then imagine how nice the chart looks. You know, it's just this nice cup. I don't know, I might have a little handle or something. Great things in store for that one. SBSW, the box. I'm just not trading the box. And now I feel like I should have, because look, it hit the lows, $4. And here we are closing at basically testing $5, which should be resistance. Let's see if it goes all the way up to 590. But I think if the metals go up, gold, silver, that will help. But it also needs some other metals. Palladium, I feel like has to help. Platinum, even some other metals. I'm just holding this one, but it's quite nice to see it bounce strong because it was looking very weak there. So SPSW looks okay. Let's keep going. Eldorado. Took this out. No issue. This descending, I think, worked. Bam. Gapped open in front of it, above it, and kept on running. Next stop is 1650. And after 1650, should know by heart. I've covered this one enough. 19. I don't see anything. It could stop off at 1829. Could stop off there, but whatever. Still a big move though. Just taking out 1650 and getting to 18 is 10%. No, it's definitely possible. 1650, then it's going to go in the 18s. Probably stall at 19 or just before. But it looks good. It could have been better if it closed at a high day, would have been good. But basically, if you have gold and silver testing their old highs, this will be above it before then. I mean, if gold just has an okay day next week, Monday, for example, this will be trading above 1650. So it looks very good. It's been looking very good for a long time, very long time. So well done. Kinross, I don't really follow Kinross too much. That's been doing very well though. Look at that. You can see how 1830 from here acted as resistance. Bounced, took it out, made a new high, didn't we? What am I talking about? We're already making new highs. Kinross is outperforming them. Next up is $9. Let's see. Yes, it is. And then 930, and then oof, double digits. But look at that, new high already. Some of the miners have already made new highs. This is a bit like Newmont, a bit like some of the silver stocks we looked at. But this one's very good. It had issues initially because of a Russian operation. And look how well it's fared since then. Really good. I'm not buying this one. I have way too much already. I can't add. I have to get rid of something before adding, but it's just gone almost vertical, so I can't do that. Goldfields, yes, I think it had a bit of resistance there. Not a great day, but that's a nice gap up. So actually, that's an okay day. Almost 4%. That's respectable. Yeah, all the descendings have been taken out. Next stop is probably up here. Can sense like a few wicks up here, and it's a big round number. So let's say 17. After that, okay, a little pit stop at 1732. Bit of a gap to fill, and then it's probably 18. I think I can see a few little wicks there, 18 plus its a round number, and then 19. Well, pretty simple, isn't it? We have a little 1620-ish resistance against 1620. And after that, it's simple, 17, 18, 90, etc. This one I've already made good money on this one. Got rid of it a while ago, but I still respect it enough to consider it one to cover. Novagold. This one, interesting. Another one where there's a massive long-term descending, and it kissed it here, and it came back down like everything else came back down around this time. And now what do you think it's going to do? It's going to go back up and test it again, probably around here. Let's get rid of that. You know, $4. What a coincidence. Once you take out $4, and actually I feel like this will be the horizontal resistance here now. If you take out $4 and you go to 4 and you close above 4, well, you've taken out the horizontal that follows the descending, and the descending is a very long term one. And this is, I don't know too much about, in fact, I don't know anything about Novagold, but it's been around a long time. I remember its name from years ago, and this has a hell of a move in store. It's almost worth buying. Huh. Or should I just watch it and appreciate the move? I already have too much and too many. But this looks good. You know, this one looks really set for a monster move. It's got a bit of an ascending element to it. I just realized that. Yeah, I can see a nice squeeze coming, but I don't know enough about it. Let me know if one of you guys have it. Otherwise, I can stop following it entirely. But this looks like it's worth watching. All right, how many? Usually, this is a monster that outperforms everything. I think it still is outperforming. There are others that have already made new highs, but still, this is like one, maybe 2 days away from making new highs at $10, 10.20. So it continues to be an absolute monster. And after 10.20, what have we got? Jesus, you have to go back far. That's good though. It's a bullish sign. There's quite a few stocks that are doing that now, where you have to go back years to see the next resistance. I like that. So after 10.20, you have, I'd say about 10.75. And then it just keeps going. Jeez. This is going to be doing double digits and holding double digits for a long time. Yeah, let's see, 10.20. Wow, it looks good. Another one where I'm just, I don't have enough space for it. And it's just gone vertically higher. But Novagold, actually, now that I think about it, it's not like this one's gone up too much. This could have a hell of a move. This could be 100% almost very quickly. Okay, sorry, final one, Anglogold. Final, oh my goodness, what an amazing day. That must be news. Look at that, on that Wednesday, it already pierced higher than its old high, closed above 26, I think. So it was green light for having a nice day on Friday if the metals oblige, and oblige they did. And look at that, straight to 29. Well, obviously it's going to go to 30 if there's any sort of a good day on Friday, on Monday, tomorrow. So, wow, that must have been good news. Very nice, Anglogold. And looks like it's got the justification to test this massive long-term, decade-long descending. That will be a strong resistance. Back down, go to 30, and then you take it out maybe and start testing 38. Anglogold, need to watch that one. A few of these that I Novagold and Anglogold. Okay, that'll do. That was very long. I hope you appreciate all that. I will try and timestamp it now to save you guys time trying to find your favorite stocks. But there you go. What do you think? And what do you think is going to happen next week? I think we're going to go higher and it's going to be beautiful. We're going to make lots of money. Good. Have a good weekend.